GUMMyTC, God's Union Marriage Ministry YouTube channel. I'm Eldridge Henry, and this is my lovely wife, Zena. Today we're going to talk to you guys about safeguarding your marriage. My wife has an awesome show for you guys today, so pay attention. Hit him, baby.
Pay attention. Hit it, baby. All right. Okay, so yes, our topic today is safeguarding your marriage, and we're just going to come and give you some quick tips on how to safeguard your marriage. Very important topic. We want to make sure that we're keeping outside intruders outside of our marriage and not inside. And outside. Yes, I feel like anytime you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. And I think with most of our marriages, what happens is we get married, but we don't really know how to be married. And then we don't really know how to safeguard our marriage. We don't know how to put boundaries up to keep other people from making our marriage worse or making us do things we shouldn't do in the marriage. And I think that's important when you have outside friends or outside relatives that are telling you how to run your marriage and you're not really listening to godly counsel. And so we just wanted to give you some tips today to talk about how you can safeguard your marriage. There's several things that you can do besides what we're giving you, but we hope these 4 helpful tips will be helpful to you. So the first one is don't have opposite sex friends. And we've talked about this exclusively on another video about having opposite sex friends. So we won't go into detail about that other than we're just recommending that you don't have opposite sex friends. It's important that you share intimacy and build that intimacy within your marriage with your spouse. And you become your spouse's best friend so that you're not entertaining the thought of someone else being intimate with you that you can actually deposit love units into, or they can deposit units into you, and you end up falling in love with that person. And that's why we say no opposite sex friends. You want to add anything to that?
Or committing adultery. We won't say falling in love with, but those weaknesses arise and things happen that should not. So that's a good one, baby. The first one is get rid of opposite sex friends, like in a video we did previously. All right, what else you got?
Keep your spouse informed. And that's keeping your spouse informed of your whereabouts, things that you've done, things that you're going to do. It's hurtful when someone else comes to your spouse and tells them something about you or that they've seen you and you have no idea that this is taking place. Wow. For example, maybe someone has said, I seen your husband at the store the other day and we had a conversation about you and how your life was doing and family and all of that, and you never knew anything about this conversation. Not to say that anything in the conversation was wrong. It could have been completely innocent. The thing is, it would have been nice that you would have been informed about that. That way then when someone comes to you and gives you that information, you can say, oh yeah, Elle told me about that. And he said that he ran into you, and glad to see that you're doing fine. I think it's helpful that we have people that may be conniving and try to come in between and drive a wedge in your marriage. But if you and your spouse are keeping each other informed, nobody can do that. And we're not going to say you're going to be perfect at that, because sometimes we forget things.
Right.
So we forget to tell our spouse that we've run into somebody, or that
Who you with today? Who did you see?
Or that we talked to somebody, or that we're doing something. But I think if you get into a habit of just starting your day off with, baby, what does your schedule look like today? Or starting the night, baby, what does your schedule look like tomorrow? And then keeping each other informed throughout the day, like calling each other and texting each other throughout the day, giving you little tidbits. Maybe you had planned to do such and such, but then your plans change. And I think me and Elle do a really good job about trying to keep each other informed about where we're going and what we're doing throughout the day. That way we're not taken by surprise. And then if something happens to you, your spouse knows exactly where you were or about where you were.
I like that. That sounds good to me. Now, one of the things that will come into play with this touching bases with your spouse or informing them will come. There will be times when people come to you, I ain't got to tell my wife nothing. I'm a man. Well, man, if you have an accident and catch on fire somewhere, it'd be nice if your wife knew which vicinity in the city you were in, which route you went to get here or there. It's not about being less than a man. It's about keeping your spouse informed. It's nice to know that you have an idea where your spouse is. No surprises. There's nothing to lose by communicating well with your spouse.
And it
So it's not about being a man, It's about being cordial to your spouse.
And it shows that
Simple.
you care about them. I mean, if
That's a
you
big
care,
thing.
if you care about your spouse and you love them, why would you not want them to know what you're doing and where you're going, unless you're doing or going somewhere that you shouldn't be.
Ooh.
All right, number 3.
Hmm.
Fill your spouse's love tank. You know, we've taken Gary Chapman's love language quiz, and we know each other's love language. If you know your spouse's love language or haven't done that yet, go ahead and take the quiz so you can find out each other's love language.
How can they find it, babe? How can they find it?
They can find that at 5lovelanguages.com. That's 5lovelanguages.com. And just go there, take the quiz. It's a quick quiz. You can find out you and your spouse's love language, and then you can speak each other's love language often. Yes. I think the thing is making sure that you're doing a weekly check to make sure that you are speaking your spouse's love language and that they feel loved. That's the big importance of that they feel loved. And if you go and do that check and say, baby, how's your love tank? And if they say empty, then your follow-up question should be, what can I do to fill your love tank?
Right.
And don't get on the defensive if they say that it's empty or that it's low. Then just do what you need to do to fill it.
Right.
I think it's important that if you're filling your spouse's love tank, nobody else has room to fill it. And that means that nobody else is depositing love units into your spouse. Nobody else is causing your spouse to fall in love with them. You're the one who's depositing those love units and filling their love tank, and so they're falling in love with you over and over and over. And that's exactly what you want in the marriage.
I agree. But baby, what's a love unit? Can I get an example?
Yeah. So love unit and deposits is an ideal that came from Willard Harley.
Okay.
And he is marriagebuilders.com. And he has marriagebuilders.com. And he has an awesome website that gives you a lot of information and talks about the emotional needs. There's even an emotional needs assessment that you can take, you and your spouse, and you can find out your spouse's emotional needs. So you can add to the love tank and give your spouse love deposits. Kind of a similar concept, not quite. But I think if you cover both of those, and you've covered all bases.
So with that, you're saying that a love unit or a love deposit is things that you do to make me feel good and let you know or let me know that you love me.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I like those.
Exactly. Yes. So we want to make sure that we are filling each other's love language or love tank.
Mm-hmm. Fill your love tank with love deposits.
Yes.
Or love units. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then number 4, date often. It is very important that couples still date. And a date should be just you and your spouse, nobody else. Not the kids, not other friends, not relatives, just you and your spouse. No phones, maybe television if that's going to be your date. So a date doesn't have to be outside of the home. A date can be inside the home where you and your spouse are sitting in front of the TV watching your favorite movie, eating popcorn. It could be going to the movies. It could be going skating. It could be going on a drive downtown.
To the park.
Yeah, it could be anything that you and your spouse consider a date. As long as the two of you agree on it, and as long as the two of you are having a good time, whatever you're going to do. And I think that on the date, you should be able to do some reflection every now and then. Not every date, because every date's not going to be a date where you and your spouse can communicate. But I think that there should be a time that you and your spouse can go on a date and then actually have some time to reflect on your marriage and where you're going and how you're going to improve on your marriage. And a good book for dates is actually 10 Great Dates by the Arps. Claudia, and I'm not sure of the other person's name, her husband, but I will put the information down below. But Claudia and somebody, A-R-P. But they have 10 Great Dates to energize your marriage. And they actually came out with another book that's called 10 Great Dates. And it has something to do with love and communication. But I'll give you all that information in the box below when we edit the video.
Sweet. So, we got some things we need to work on, guys. Safeguarding the marriage includes some of these tips and more.
Exactly.
We want to make sure that we get rid of all the opposite sex friends.
Yes.
We want to make sure we keep our spouse informed. We want to make sure we fill our spouse's love tank with love deposits. And lastly, go out on dates. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in a brown paper bag under the favorite tree, driving through the city looking at big fancy houses, just relaxing, but just time where the two of you are focused on one another without all the outside distractions. Make it happen, people. And listen, send this out to all your friends that are married or seriously dating. #GummyTC, GUMMYTC. God's Union Marriage Ministry YouTube channel. That's right here. Share with a friend. Let us know what you think in the comments below. I'm Eldridge. This is my beautiful wife, Zena. Thank you. Have a God-blessed day. Take care.
Bye-bye.
I need my sugar, please.
You gonna let me get my bye-bye out.
Get your bye-bye on, baby. See y'all later. You happy with that one?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Oh, forgot to tell them.
Oh.
Hey, we use new lights our friends the Echoes gave us. So hope you think the lighting is better this time. We got some adjustments to make and 2 lights if we need 2 lights. Father and the Son.
Yeah.
2 lights.
You're saying that.
And the 2 of them combined make the Holy Ghost.
You're saying that with my lip gloss on.
All right, how you doing? My bad. You pretty need to pull back just about a half inch because the very tip of my head is not in there. See that shaded area?
It is. I tested it.
There we go.
Are we centered? I don't think we're centered.
No, because you gotta move the line. See, the middle of the room is the door. Let the middle line.
Going which way?
Cameras be shifted to my left. Very slightly.
Is it this button that moves that knob?
Just pick up the thing. Perfect.
Is it cutting off my tall ponytail?
You just scoot your chair back a little bit.
Do it?
You're not in the shot.
I feel like I am. Okay. What are you doing that for?
Thinking.
To make it do what? I'm not understanding.
Work.
Make it work?
You need to water that thing. They're wilting. That's what we got to do.